Hey, welcome back, or welcome if you're new to my channel. Today I thought we're gonna go through the World of Warcraft official strategy guide for the expansion Mists of Pandaria. This book was not easy to come by since it's the limited edition one. Instead of just a paperback, it's a hardcover book. It used to come with a pair of chopsticks, I think, this limited edition one, but those are long gone now. Here on the cover we can see Shen Stormcrown, the famous monk from this expansion. That was the leading figure, I guess, for the whole expansion. And on the back side we can see is a really pretty sigil. This is a really thick book, and I hope you will enjoy this video. So let's get into it. Thanks. Here we have it, the World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria limited edition official strategy guide. I think this one is actually the last one they made for an expansion, just because the internet became what it is today, or well, it started that you could just find everything online. So these books are not very popular to any game if you're not a collector. When you open it up, it has this really lovely green hue. It's such a peaceful color. Here's a part of the monk artwork. Official strategy guide, and this actually contains a lot. This whole green segment contains an introduction for new players. And I don't think they did this to the older ones I've gone through, right? Only for the base game of vanilla. But then goes on the content exclusively for Mists of Pandaria. Piercing the Mist, pet battles. They came during this expansion. World dungeons, raids, the lost continent of Pandaria, character classes, player versus player combat, professions, Bestiary, and achievements. An introduction to World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is a massively multiplayer online game in which you assume control of a character who is part of the world of Azeroth and Outland. These worlds are filled with magic and fantastical creatures, but you will also catch glimpses of advanced technology. It talks about this is an online game. And who is this for? General questions answered. They have this for the Cataclysm, right? I have a vague memory of reading these in another video I made not too long ago. Picking the right realm. Here is the realm selection screen, and it talks about how it goes from new players, low, medium, and high and full. Making your character, the character creation screen, character race and class selection. For more information, if you are interested in playing a specific faction or race, turn to page 90 for Alliance races, page 134 for Horde races, or page 174 for Pandaria. I really love this height scale, it's really cute. The gnomes are the small goes from gnome, dwarf, goblin, human, undead, Pandaren, orc, tauren, night elf, blood elf, worgen, troll to Draenei. And the Draenei are the tallest. All of these with character portrait now during current World of Warcraft in Dragonflight. They are not the same and you can customize them in another way. Your whole interface. The interface bar. I love this old one. I am not a fan of the newer one that they actually updated. They are moving way too far away from what the game used to be, in my opinion. Controlling your character, basic movements. What are quests? Communicating with other players. Is that a thing anymore in the game? I'm just kidding, I always played as a solo player. Or well, not always, but it's my preferred way of playing. Just disappearing into the lore of the game and the whole fantasy. I prefer to do that by myself with games. Interacting with other characters, trading, groups, looting options. And they even removed that. I can miss the whole ninja looter drama that used to happen within groups, dungeons, raids, guilds. I miss when the internet was just a Wild West. Different guilds. We're still in the beginner's guide. It's really nice how they actually made this a part of these books for new players. But I wonder if new players are actually the ones that got these books, or just collectors dying. This won't be on your list of things to do, but at some point early in your character's life, their health bar will reach 0 and they will die. It might happen because you forgot to refresh your health bar between battles. You were attacked by multiple enemies simultaneously, or you attacked an enemy who was too tough for you. It happens. Everybody dies, sometimes more than once, over and over again. No, not in hardcore, no. Advancing your character, gear. It's so much to do. I understand that new players always had a hard time getting into the game and understanding all of the mechanics. But I don't think games like this should cater to new players or players that are not playing, but to the actual player base. But oh well, that's just me. Banks and auction house. The black market auction house. This was implemented in Mists of Pandaria, and it's still, well, usable today. I am currently in retail. Well, I'm back to retail. I mostly play just classic. But in current retail I'm farming to get the tier 3 from old Nax from us that you can get now in Dragonflight. And I'm so happy I didn't spend tons of millions of gold on the black market auction house to get the tier pieces. But my heart goes out to everyone who did that. In the swirling mist of Pandaria, hidden at a tavern in the mist, in the lofty heights of the veiled stair, Madame Goya runs the black market auction house. The black market is very different than other auction houses in the game. The black market offers rare and exotic items unavailable to purchase anywhere else. It offers players the opportunity to buy items that normally would come with potentially hundreds of hours of gameplay, or being a member of a very best or the best guilds in the game, or just being lucky. From the black market auction house you could buy mounts, pets, old gear that is not available in the game any longer. Customizing the interface. And just for fun, different things you can do in game. Achievements, go fishing. That is still my favorite pastime thing to do in World of Warcraft, even if it's retail or classic. I love fishing. It's very, very comforting. Here they talks about online resources, community forums. During this time the biggest one was Overhead. They actually quit the Thoughtbot for so many years ago, unfortunately. Here, the Authenticator. You could use it on your phone or have this little gadget. And I threw mine away when I stopped using it, and I wish I didn't. Oh well, this was over 10 years ago, soon 15 years ago. Can't blame myself for what I did when I was young, but I miss that thing. These are so hard to come by. I would love to have a couple of those again. Glossary. It's just all the different terms you might come across. Choosing your character's race and the different factions. And the Pandaren race could be both Horde or Alliance. You had to choose. They are the first and only, well, not anymore, with the Dragonflights. Dragons, I guess. I don't even remember what they're called right now. That's so bad of me, but I seriously dislike them. But they were a neutral race that could play on both sides, so you had to choose. The Draenei are an intelligent and spiritual race who no longer have a homeworld of their own. They fled both their home planet of Argus and then Outland as well. The Legion, a force of horrible evil, has dogged their effort at every turn. Currently, the Draenei have crash-landed on Azeroth in their capital ship, the Exodar. Though their ship's engines have been sabotaged, they are ready and willing to continue the battle against evil. Draenei are dedicated to magic and holy light. The Draenei have a spiritual affinity with the Naru, energy beings who serve the holy light. Draenei are 7 to 8 feet tall, with long tails and bipedal hooves. Female have hordes of varying shapes and sizes. Males have unique cranial and facial features. Your first day as a Draenei. The Dwarves. Dwarves are a hardy people, due no doubt to living for generations in cold regions, frequently in underground fortresses. Master of stone and ore, dwarves are equally skilled at building cities and crafting weaponry. Dwarves are treasure seekers, explorers, and courageous fighters. Dwarves are 4 to 5 feet tall, stocky and muscular. Males prize their elaborate beards, and female their decorative hairstyles and piercings. No. The eccentric gnomes once thrived in Nomragan, a city deep in the mountains beneath Domero. When attacked by trogs, the clever gnomes released toxic radiation against their attackers, and the gnome citizens as well. The surviving gnomes fled the city, still sharing their intervention and no devices with others. They currently use Ironforge, the dwarven capital, as a place of refuge. Gnomish and goblin engineers have a long-standing rivalry. It's uncertain to outsiders which side is more dangerous to their friends and enemies. Gnomes are approximately 3 feet tall, being the shortest sentient race in Azeroth. They have petite bodies but larger facial features. Gnomes have only 4 fingers per hand. Male and female gnomes are known for their outrageous hair colors. Human. Humans are both proud and ambitious, seeking comfort and glory, and to change the world around them. Many humans are laborers, working in the farms, mines, and lumber mills outside of Stormwind, eagerly taking all that nature offers. Humans are also courageous knights, brave on the battlefield and loyal to their comrades. Humans are 5 to 6 feet tall, strong and healthy. Human physical traits vary greatly, with a wide palette of skin and hair colors. Night Elf. Night elves are perceived as aloof and solitary, preferring nature to conventional cities and the company of their own kind to that of other races. Rather than using nature as a resource, Night Elf seeks to be in rhythm with the natural world. Night Elves blend magic and the forces of nature for their protection and strength. This belief places Night Elves in strong opposition to Blood Elves, who have consumed tremendous magic against the flow of nature and who continue to place ambition before reason. Night Elves are approximately 7 feet tall. They are light and athletic. All Night Elves have prominent eyebrows and very long ears. Males have elaborate facial hair, and females have facial tattoos. Worgen. It was once thought that the Worgen were evil creatures that came to Azeroth from another dimension. Time has proven this false, as newer knowledge reveals that Worgen are descendants of cursed night elven druids. These druids worshipped Goldrin and will take on the form of the wolf. Eventually, this sect lost themselves in the madness, and their curse has continued for many generations. The Greymane Worgen are infected with this curse, but they have fought hard to retain themselves and developed a partial cure to this illness. As such, they are not driven towards uncontrolled violence. These Worgen have reached out to the Alliance, forming the 6th member of the raids of this group. These Worgens are both human and wolf, able to pass between the two forms. They have full control over themselves, but appear as true Worgen when in such a form, growing thick hair and possessing a canine appearance. Blood Elf. The Blood Elves are so named in honor of their high elf ancestor who died during the Scourge invasion of their homeland, Quel'Thalas. Blood Elves seek power through arcane magic, bending it to their will to create warped, beautiful surroundings. Fiercely loyal to their race, Blood Elves will do anything to avenge their ancestors and reclaim their magic power. They are survivors hoping to regain glory once again. Those of a weak disposition are unable to control their lust for magic and power. This burns away at their wills and turns these elves into a pathetic, weaker version of what they once were. Blood elves are 5 to 6 feet tall, slim and wiry. Their hair and skin color reflect the affinity of fire and the sun. All blood elves have prominent eyebrows and long ears. Males have minimal facial hair and females have elaborate ear jewelry. Goblin. Goblins are a creative race that often fails to see the forest through the trees. This might be because of their penchant for cutting down entire swaths of landscape. Many goblins have a fascination with technology and innovative engineering. Often found on neutral ground, many goblins weren't interested in taking sides between the Horde and the Alliance. There isn't much profit in the choice because it closes out a huge market from the other sides. However, recent developments in the world have made it impossible for the goblin race to sit on their sidelines. As such, some have joined the Horde and are ready to lend their inventions to the cause. Orcs are large and terrifying to their enemies, but after numerous wars, the orcs seek peace and a return to their shamanic heritage. Thrall, their great warship, led his people to Durotar, chosen due to its desolate climate and isolated position. Due to their warring heritage, orcs are courageous on the battlefield. They are also a hardy people, seeking a new path to glory and honor. Orcs are approximately 6 feet tall with muscular physiques. Males have very long and unusual facial hairs. Females have electric hairstyles and unusual piercings. All orcs have some variation of green skin. Tauren. The Tauren are a spiritual and nomadic race, wandering the plains for survival and seeking the will of the Earth Mother. Though inherently peaceful, hunting skills are prized as being part of the natural order. Tribal in nature, the Tauren were united under the rule of Cain Bloodwolf in majestic Thunderbluff. Tauren are 7 to 8 feet tall with very large bulk and weight. Tauren have long tails, bipedal hooves, and only 3 fingers per hand. Both males and females have horns of varying size and shape. Trolls. The Darkspell trolls fled Stranglethorn Vale after a generation of wars with other troll tribes and invaders. The orcs offered the trolls a new homeland in Durotar. Sanjin village is named in honor of the trolls' fallen leader. This was the temporary settling point for the trolls, but they are now pushed out to the Echo Isles just off Durotar coastline. Trolls are wild, from living in the jungle, and superstitious due to their tribe's spiritual practices. They are 7 to 8 feet tall, the tallest race in Azeroth. Males frequently squat in place, but females do not. Trolls have 3 fingers per hand and 2 toes per foot. Both males and females have a variety of tusk styles and wild hairstyles. A renegade group of undead broke away from the Scourge army and the rule of the Lich King, led by Sylvanas Windrunner. This group of undead called themselves the Forsaken, hating by the living but unwilling to return to the control of the Lich King. The Forsaken wage a continuous battle for their independent survival. They didn't choose undeath, but they see that this has its benefits. Forsaken are 5 to 6 feet tall, scrawny and gaunt. Their skin is deteriorating and their hair is unkempt. Both males and females have a variety of decomposition features. Pandaria. This is new for the expansion, Mists of Pandaria. Since breaking free of the control of the mysterious race known as the Mogu thousands of years ago, the Pandaren have lived peacefully on their continent of Pandaria and on the Wandering Isle, which is actually Shen Sinsu, the Great Turtle. Pandaren are known to be tenacious and have a passion for food and inviting spirits. Pandaren are generally between 5 and 6 feet tall and are covered in fur from head to toe. Every Pandaren has 2 colors of fur. One is always white, but the other color ranges from black to brown to red. Pandaren are uniquely among the player race of Azeroth, in that they begin as neutral, part of neither of the Horde nor the Alliance. Pandaren who wish to see the rest of Azeroth must choose between the factions before they are allowed to depart the Wandering Isle. And the available classes from Pandaren is Hunter, Mage, Monk, Priest, Rogue, Shaman and Warrior. Your first day as a Pandaren. The mysterious Pandaren have rarely been seen by other descendants of Azeroth, and indeed were often thought to be nothing more than a myth. Pandaria, the content of this ancient culture, has been shrouded by the mist that kept it hidden and safe since the Sundering. Here is the starter place. It's a big turtle. I've actually never started a Pandaren character from the start, I think. I always played my 2 main characters, a priest and a rogue, but maybe I should try something new for once, in retail. Choosing a class. We are Death Knights, Druids, Hunter, Mage, Monk. This was also, they didn't just come with a new race, it was a new class as well. The Monks. Overview. A newcomer to Azeroth, Monk is a hybrid class able to assume any of the 3 group roles. Monks are Shi. Monks use Shi as the primary resource for performing many of their special abilities. And the 3 different specializations you could use were Brewmaster Monk for tank, Mistweaver Monks for healer, and Windwalker Monks for DPS. We have the Paladin, Priest, Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, and the Warrior. Piercing the Mist of Pandaria. When you upgrade to Mist of Pandaria, there are many new and exciting additions waiting for you in Azeroth. The most significant change is the addition of an entire new continent Explore. This continent was hidden from the world by the mist that protected its inhabitants, the Pandarans. Now that the Pandarans have joined in the conflict between the Horde and the Alliance, they have become an available race when creating characters and have passed on their knowledge to the other races to make the new monk class available. The good news for existing high-level characters is that the level cap has been raised to 90. It says it's such a small text, oh my god. The new features of the expansion, the new race, Pandarians, and the new class, the monks. And they made the cross-realm zones and new zones. Here's the starter place for the Pandarians, level 1 to 10. And here's the rest of Pandaria. This is the land all Pandarians call home. Until now, no one else has ever visited this continent. Your journey here takes you across lush forests, extremely fertile farmlands, and even to snow-peaked mountains where Pandaren masters practice their discipline. And we have the Jade Forest, Valley of the Four Winds. Did I skip? There are more coming here on the other pages, I guess. Leveling progression by zone and issues. The red ones are all the starting zones for Horde, and all the blue ones are the starting zones for Alliance. Here is Outland and Azeroth. Here comes the next ones. God. Krasang Wilds, Dread Wastes, Vale of Eternal Blossoms. This was such a beautiful place. And Kunlai Summit. Hidden Treasures of Pandaria. Treasure chest. As you travel the world, you may come across special treasure chests. While everyone can see this chest and they spawn once looted. Each treasure is unique to the chest it was looted from and can't be seen again by that player once looted. Changes to your character. They came with stat changes, revision to the talent system, glyphs. They altered the glyphs, unfortunately. I really enjoyed the glyphs from Cataclysm. Storing things in the void. I don't know anyone who uses the void storage. Transmogrifying. Battle.net account achievements. Changes to professions. Inscription, archaeology and cooking got some changes. Interface changes. They started updating a lot during this expansion. New faction and reputations. Mists of Pandaria has many new factions to find and become friends with. This expansion no longer requires to wear tab badge for a particular faction to raise its reputation with dungeon runs. That was actually pretty sad. I'm going on such a nostalgic rant now, but I really miss using tab badge or just farming items. Mists of Pandaria were actually pretty good, since you could farm rares for the tokens that you could trade in for reputation. But I really miss the old tabards and farming and how grinded the game used to be. But the different factions and reputations, we had the lore walkers. The dealers were a very nice, enjoyable reputation grind, since you had to farm out items, and that was actually a very fun part of the game. I miss when reputations weren't just dailies. The anglers, the fishing ones, really nice daily quest, but it was fishing daily quest, you know. August Celestials, the Golden Lotus, Shadowpan, Klaxi, Order of the Cloud Serpent. This was also a very fun one. You could farm eggs like from, if you think about the Netherwing drakes, that you had to farm eggs to turn in. I really miss, and I wish with all of my heart that they would have made that now during Dragonflight, because that was such a fun grind to do. They really missed out of that one. And here's the legendary reputation, the Black Prince. You can actually still get this one today, but the only way to get it is to farm. On the Timeless Isle, the weekly boss, you will get 500 reputation with the Black Prince. But I don't think you can actually become exalted with him that way. I'm not quite sure. That was with Rathium, by the way. He was very active during this expansion. And pet battles were a new part of this game. It's like Pokemon, I guess. They got a lot of backlash because of that, and I still don't enjoy pet battles in game. No way I'm playing that seriously. Since the day it was announced as a part of Mists of Pandaria, pet battles have been one of the most eagerly anticipated additions to World of Warcraft. The variety of pets you've been collecting since you started playing World of Warcraft are now battle wild pets. Pets from NPC trainers and team controlled by other players. So you use these just to compete against each other or against trainers, or I don't know, just wild ones. I have never enjoyed this type of content. And it just goes through all of the pets. These are the aquatic pets. The beast pets in game, I think there are several thousands of them now. Career pests. Dragonkin pets. Elemental pets. Flying pets. Humanoid pets. Magic pets. Mechanical pets and undead pets. And here are all of the pet abilities. It's like a mini game within the game. But I guess some people might enjoy this, right? The world dungeons. The new land to explore. There are also new dungeons to conquer. The Mists of Pandaria expansion has 6 new dungeons and 2 classic dungeons revised and made into level 90 heroic versions. And the raids. Scenarios. The scenarios were something between like a dungeon and just I don't know, not even raid. You were only 3 people. They only had it during the Mist of the Pandaria expansion, then they removed it completely, but I actually enjoyed this content. It was very fun, I think. Scenarios are a new form of adventuring that can be done much more quickly than dungeons. In order to enter a scenario, look under the dungeon, finder tab, and queue as you normally would for a dungeon. These were actually really fun. I miss them. The continent of Pandaria. The following pages include the maps for the regions of Pandaria in alphabetical order. Each region includes information of fishing, mining, and herbalism, as well as reputation information. Just look at this beautiful artwork. I think why a lot of the Mists of Pandaria expansion actually got criticized, not only for being childish with pandas, but worse that it was almost like culturally appropriating Asian culture. And I don't know, I just think it was really amazing. This expansion, the whole aesthetic at least, it's really beautiful made. Dread Wastes. The east border of Dread Wastes is blocked from the rest of Pandaria unless you fly over the walls or swim around it. The north connects to Downlong Steppes, and the rest is surrounded by water. The Heart of Fear raid is located west of the central hub in Klaxivas. Complete the daily quest for the Klaxi to improve your reputation with them. Here's the Jade Forest for the Alliance, since the Alliance and the Horde got different quests in these zones. The Jade Forest is your introduction to the Pandaria Island. It is connected to the Valley of the Four Winds, Vale of Eternal Blossoms, Krasang Wilds and Kunlai Summits on the west, and otherwise surrounded by water. As the name suggests, it's mostly made up of thick forest. The first Pandarian dungeon, the Temple of the Jade Serpent, can be found on the east coast. Horde begin their questing at the far north at the wreck of the Sky Shark, and the Alliance begin at Wayward Landing to the far south. And here's for Horde and neutral. Krasang Wilds. Located south of Valley of the Four Winds, Krasang Wilds is made of a dense jungle surrounded by water to the south and east. Rivers run through the middle, giving you some good fishing opportunities. You can enter the area near Nessingwary Safari in the west or across the Thunderfoot Fields Bridge to the east. Otherwise, it's a big drop off the cliffs from the farmland above. This drop can be navigated easily with an appropriate skill or by using a grappling rope located south of the Silken Fields. Angler's Wharf on the far south side gives you some nice daily quests if you're interested in the fishing profession. Kunlai Summit. These texts are quite too small for me, so just bear with me. You're venturing in Kunlai Summit. Start in the far southeast at Bainan Village, which is accessed through the ancient passage of the Wild Stairs. Make your way across the barren land into the mountains of Kunlai. On the far east side is the Temple of the White Tiger, where Suen gives you 3 tests to prove your worthiness. And Gerthok challenges you to the area of annihilation scenario. Shrine of the Seven Stars. This is the hub for the Alliance. And Shrine of Two Moon is the hub for the Horde characters. Taolong Steps. Taolong Steps are on the far west side of Pandaria and is separate from Kunlai Summit and Vale of Eternal Blossom by the Pandaren Wall. Questing starts at the Longing Outpost and takes you all the way around the zone to the island of the west. After completing quests at the Shadowban Garrison and Nisao Temple, both areas offers daily quests. Vale of Eternal Blossoms. This was a really beautiful zone. Located in the heart of Pandaria, Vale of Eternal Blossom holds 2 structures that act as the central hubs for the Horde, Shrine of the Two Moons, and the Alliance, Shrine of the Seven Stars. Mokushan Palace and the Gates of the Setting Sun, 2 world dungeons, are located here as well. Valley of the Four Winds. The entrance from Jade Forest into the Valley of the Four Winds is located at Pangstead. This zone is mostly made out of farmland, with the jungle-like Krasang Wilds to the south and mountains to the north. After helping out the farmers to the east, you must accompany Shen Stormstrout and Lily to Stormstrout Brewery. The zone's lone world dungeon. The fields there. And here would be Tavern in the Mist, the Black Market auction house. The Wheel Stairs is a small zone that connects Valley of the Four Winds with Gunlai Summit. Tavern in the Mist gives you a place to rest, and the nearby Black Market auction house always allows you to purchase goods from others. And the Wandering Isle. This is the Pandaren starter zone, the Big Turtle. Separate from Pandaria for millennia, the Wandering Isle meanders the oceans of Azeroth. When the weather changes unexpectedly on the isle and it begins erratically spiraling towards the maelstorms, the elder at the Temple of Five Dawns requested the aid of 4 elemental spirits to unravel the mystery. Here we have the updates for the different classes. This expansion. So we have Death Knights. And the Druids. The Hunters. Mage. Monks. The different racial advantages as an alliance or as a horde. Race availability. You could be everything for both races, but the Worgen and the Goblin, because they were viewed as such new, I guess, from Cataclysm. Here is about the Brewmaster specialization. And the Mistweaver and the Windwalker. About the Paladins. Priest. Rogues. Shaman. Warlock. The Warrior. Player versus player combat. I think during this expansion the PvP content was already pretty much dead, the world PvP. I think, or it's not I think, it's most of the player base know that during Cataclysm, when you could fly over the entire of Azeroth, it just died out, unfortunately. And the Death Knight. PvP tips by class. Here are some tips. During the Mists of Pandaria era, the druid, the hunter, mage, monk, paladin and priest, rogue and shaman, and a warlock and warrior. And here's the professions. Each character can learn 2 major professions and as many secondary professions as are available in the game. These modes of character progression acts optional. You can avoid them entirely or if you want. However, there are advantages to having these skills. We have alchemy, blacksmithing, enchanting, engineering. That used to be so much fun in the game. What happened to that? Inscription, jewel crafting, leatherworking, tailoring. I'm starting now to get back into tailoring. In current retail Dragonflight, I'm having a lot of fun with it, farming old recipes, rare ones. They should really add achievements to get like all of the different available rare recipes in games to the different professions. That would make gold farming more available and the items would go up and you would get more gold into the game, rolling the economy, I guess. That would be very fun because I have very rare ones sitting in my bank, like the star belt pattern and such things. Herbalism. Mining. Mining and herbalism are very fun. I would really, to any new players, I can really recommend mining together with engineering. That's really fun to actually play. Here are the secondary professions. Archaeology. That is my second favorite thing to do profession-wise after fishing. But they have not added any new achievements or content to the archaeology for forever. I think the last one they made were during Battle for Azeroth and that was not very nice, so it's been quite a while now, unfortunately. Cooking. First aid. Rest in peace, first aid, you are very missed. It got removed during the Legion expansion. And because it's not longer needed, most of the classes have a sufficient self-heal, but I really miss using first aid, that was so nice. And fishing. Just look at this big peaceful picture of an orc fishing into Rotar. This is what I love about the game. Sometimes it's a better escape than real life. Yeah, at the age I'm at now, you know, I started to become very nostalgic, and nostalgia can make you a bit sad. I am turning 30 now, and I really miss my childhood. I wish I could relive it just once more. But playing retail doesn't give me that much, but playing classic gives me a lot of the feelings I used to have as a child growing up with this game. And that brings me such a pleasure I can't describe. It's true joy and happiness. The Mists of Pandaria Bestiary. Exploring the new continents means encounters with never-before-seen creatures, as you work with the Pandarians on their home continent, except to run into following enemies. The champions listed with each new type of enemies are rare, and sometimes elite spawns who drop nice rewards for the fortunate enough to find them and powerful enough to defeat them. We have the Weirman. The obnoxious and tadpoles and vermin are rabbit-like pets prone to stealing any edibles and hoarding them underground or in caves. And the Jinju, the fish people, Jinju flourish near bodies of water, which shouldn't be surprised considering many revert Jinju are water speakers, able to speak and listen to the waters that flow throughout Pandaria. I wonder why they didn't do anything with the Jinju, I guess. Maybe not good enough for an allied race, but they should really be into the game more, all of this. I guess world building races, they are not just bound to a continent. We have sprites and Mogu. Mogu are an ancient race who founded an empire thousands of years in the past. They used the slave labor of conquered racers to build imposing structures. The Osen are the monkeys the Hordes got to play with, while the Alliance got the Jinju, mantides. They are like the Onkiraj swarms, insects that serves the old gods. Kanjong, Xaurok, Yangul, Mushan. The Yanguls were like the older version of the Taurans, I guess. The Shah, Mistlurker, Quillen, Yangshi, and achievements. I guess they updated a lot with achievements during this time. Achievements are a different way to show when you have accomplished in World of Warcraft. To see a full list of achievements, click on the icon in the interface bar or press the Y key. This area lists hundreds of in-game achievements. You get them for almost anything you can imagine. Different types of achievements: general, quest, exploration, player versus player, dungeon and raids, scenarios, professions, reputations, world events, guild, pet battles and fear of strength. I wish they would really add more fear of strength into the game as current, but they just don't. It's just time-gated content, and I could make a whole video, honestly, about what I wish they did lore-wise, the ways I would have gone with the game, what I think is wrong with the game, and what I would like more. I think that would actually be quite a nice video. I might make that. And here we have some ads. Jaina Brownmore, Tides of War came out. It was this expansion, or in the beginning of this expansion, that the pre-expansion stuff you had to do was going through a dungeon where Garrosh Hellscream actually bombed Theramore into bits and pieces. Jaina was very much in that expansion as well. World of Warcraft, Jaina Brownmore, Tides of War, novel except by Christy Gold. This is from chapter 10 of that book. I have not read that one actually. I loved the Orthos one. That was so good. I guess this is like a prequel. Here, look, caring for your chopsticks. They actually came with this book. I was not actually wrong about that. Your unique Mists of Pandaria chopsticks are completely food safe. They should be hand-washed only using regular dishwashing detergent in water with a temperature of less than 70 degrees Fahrenheit. They should never be placed in a dishwasher, as this greatly shortens their life and many damage them. I was not wrong. I did not get this with this book, but it's like I don't understand why you would give out chopsticks with a book just because it's Asian centered. Don't ask me. Here are some of the mega blocks that you could build. Maybe that would be nice for a video if these are still available to build. Mega blocks are kind of like Legos, and I would really like to make some Lego ASMR. That would be nice. Arm Yourself for War Steel Series. That's the mouse, World of Warcraft mouse. I used to have the Eraser Naga. That was really good, you know, with all the buttons on the sides. Oh, I missed that, but it died so many years ago. And these old mouse mats. Get social with BradyGames. Become a fan on Facebook. Ooh. Follow BradyGames on Twitter. Watch strategy videos on our YouTube channel. Jesus Christ, this is such a different era compared to the other books I did videos on. They did not have this like social media, follow us, go on here. Like the only thing you would see on the internet was like a square like, here's a thought bot, go here if you have some questions. I feel old, maybe you do as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's been a really nice experience to share this with you. I am soon done with all of my books and I have much more planned content to make that might not be this long. But I hope you stay continued, subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much. I hope to see you soon again.